Daniel Carter had always believed that life had a way of wearing people down. It had certainly done so to him. Once full of dreams, he now found himself sitting on the cold pavement of a busy New York City street, clutching a worn-out sign that read, "Just trying to survive. Anything helps." He never imagined he would end up here. He had once been a hard-working man, with a steady job as a construction worker, a small apartment, and a hope for a better future. But after an accident on site left him with a broken leg and months of unemployment, everything spiraled downward. Medical bills piled up, his savings vanished, and soon, so did his home. Now, he was just another nameless face in a sea of people who walked past without a second glance. It was early December, and the city was alive with holiday cheer. Twinkling lights adorned the streets, laughter spilled from coffee shops, and carolers sang melodies of warmth and joy. Yet, for Daniel, the festive atmosphere only deepened the ache in his heart. That evening, as the wind howled and the snow began to fall, Daniel pulled his tattered jacket tighter around him. His fingers were numb from the cold, and his stomach ached from hunger. He had lost count of how many people had passed him by that day without acknowledging his presence. But then, someone stopped. She was a young woman, probably in her mid-20s, with kind brown eyes and a warm smile. She crouched down to meet his gaze. "Hi," she said softly. "I'm Emily." Daniel was caught off guard. Most people either ignored him or dropped a few coins without a word. He hesitated before nodding. "Daniel." Emily's eyes flickered over his worn clothes, his thin frame, and the exhaustion that seemed to weigh him down. "Have you eaten today?" she asked. Daniel swallowed, ashamed. He hadn't eaten since the previous afternoon, but admitting that felt like stripping away the last of his dignity. Emily didn't wait for an answer. She stood up and gestured toward a small diner across the street. "Come on, let me get you something warm." Daniel hesitated. He had experienced kindness before, mostly in small, fleeting ways, but he had also learned that kindness often came with conditions. But something about Emily felt different. Maybe it was the genuine warmth in her voice, or the way she spoke to him like he was a person, not just a problem to solve. After a moment, he nodded and rose slowly, his legs stiff from sitting so long. Inside the diner, the scent of freshly brewed coffee and sizzling bacon filled the air. Emily guided him to a booth and handed him a menu. "Order whatever you like," she said. For the first time in a long while, Daniel felt something stir within him, hope. He ordered a simple meal, a bowl of hot soup and a sandwich. As he ate, Emily sat across from him, sipping her coffee. She didn't pry or ask about his past. Instead, she told him about her own life, how she had moved to the city 2 years ago, how she loved books and worked at a small publishing house. She spoke with such warmth that Daniel found himself forgetting, even for just a moment, that he was homeless. As he finished his meal, Emily pulled something from her bag, a small envelope. She slid it across the table. "This," she said gently, "is a gift card to a motel nearby. It's enough for a few nights. I don't know what's next for you, Daniel, but I want you to be warm and safe, even if just for a little while." Daniel's vision blurred. He tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. No one had shown him this kind of generosity in a long time. He finally managed. "Why are you doing this?" Emily smiled. "Because everyone deserves kindness, and because I believe in second chances." That night, for the first time in months, Daniel slept in a bed. He showered, changed into fresh clothes from a shelter nearby, and felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, human. The next morning, as he stood outside the motel, he made a decision. Emily had given him more than just a warm meal and a place to sleep. She had given him hope, and hope was a powerful thing. Over the next few weeks, Daniel used the stability Emily had provided to turn things around. He visited a local shelter that helped people get back on their feet. He started doing odd jobs, saving every penny he could. One small act of kindness had ignited something in him, a determination to rebuild. Months later, on a crisp spring morning, Daniel stood outside a familiar coffee shop, waiting. When Emily arrived, she barely recognized him. He was clean-shaven, wearing a neatly pressed shirt, and held a small bag in his hand. "Daniel?" she asked in surprise. He grinned. "I wanted to thank you for everything." He handed her the bag. Inside was a book, one she had mentioned loving during their first conversation. Tucked inside was a note. "Your kindness saved me. Because of you, I found my way back. Thank you for believing in me." Tears welled in Emily's eyes. She had never expected anything in return. But in that moment, she realized something powerful. Kindness had a ripple effect. One small act could change a life.